Good evening, my fellow patriots. We are live. Thank you for joining me on this June 20th, lovely, drizzly Saturday out here in New York City, the heart of the world, the ground zero. I'm broadcasting to you live from deep in the heart of New York City, Manhattan. West 59th Street, baby. Right across the street from those evil bastards, the Illuminati who own Time Warner, those scumbags. Anyway, I'm already on a rant when the topic of the show today should be this Charleston, South Carolina shooter everybody wants to talk about, you see. But that's what I'm going to title my YouTube video. But actually what we're going to talk about, how the Charleston, South Carolina shooter distracted everyone from the TPP, the TAA, and Obama trade, okay? Think about it like that, my friends. Why are we all distracted with this nutbag who reports already state that he was on serotonin reuptake inhibitors, Prozac, Zoloft, you know, those psychotropic drugs that make you go crazy. That's one thing every mass shooting has in common, my fellow Americans. They're all nuts. They all take these psychotropic drugs, and when it's time to get off of them, they receive zaps in their brains or some sorts. This is what I read, and they go into fits of rage. So we need to educate ourselves on the prescription drug holocaust that's going on here, because I do not blame the guns. As you can see in my background, it says "come and take it." I don't know how well you can see it with the CG and all, but let's see if we can fix that. Yeah, here we go. Come and take it, baby. That's what I'm all about. What's all about the Second Amendment? And let me tell you why else, my fellow Americans. Because 9 people died in this South Carolina church, supposedly, right? Well, I believe 9 people died, or whatever it was. The little kid who played dead was probably the smartest one out of the whole bunch. Because if I'm in South Carolina, I'm packing, okay? And here in New York City, it takes you, you got to fill out a pile of forms like this to pack legally. But if I'm in South Carolina, North Carolina, anywhere down south, any state where I'm illegally allowed to pack, I'm gonna pack as many weapons as I possibly can, because this sick, deranged individual who was on SSRIs, psychotropic drugs, like I said, stood there for an hour loading and unloading his gun. Supposed one of these 9 individuals, the pastor for all, were to be packing, had a weapon of his own while he was unloading and unloading this sick individual. The pastor could have pulled out and put a holy piece of bread in his head. Bang! That's just my opinion, though. Alright, you can join me every week on this very great network, the Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Go to mnn.org or go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Eli King Show. And you can also email me at the EliKingShow@AOL.com, where here we discover and we talk about alternative news media. I thank you once again, all my friends, my family, and even my enemies for joining me. And like I said, we're going to discuss the part of the Charlestown shooter. We're going to get the calls in a little while, see what the audience thinks. And we're going to talk about how all these shooters are like Manchurian candidates. Sirhan, the Batman shooter, Timothy McVeigh. All of these people claim they were under some sort of military MK Ultra psychological program that basically washed their brain and turned them into Manchurian candidates. Machines, basically, who will go out and kill on a signal, just like they killed John F. Kennedy Jr. Why do you think they couldn't find John F. Kennedy Jr.'s flight instructor? His seat was ripped out because he was a Manchurian candidate. He pulled the gas lever, which brought the plane down. John F. Kennedy Jr. wasn't stupid. The guy had a broken leg. He never flew alone in his life. The Mossad happened to be in town that day as well. John F. Kennedy Jr. wrote an article about the Mossad in his George magazine. Wrote a lot of good things. This is why they killed the young man. This is why they killed Robert F. Kennedy. This is why they killed John F. Kennedy Sr. All right, enough of me. Let's go to the calls. I want to see what the viewers have to say. Their opinion on this whole Charlestown, South Carolina shooting. The number is 212-245-7273. That is 212-245-7273. We are live. Light up the phone lines, boys and girls. If you think this shooting was racially motivated, do you think they're trying to start a race war? Do you think this guy was a Manchurian candidate, a CIA sheep-dipped, psychotropic, drug-taking scum? Let me know. Give me a call. All right? All right. Let's get to it. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's on your mind? What's your name and where you're calling from?
This is Ron calling from Harlem.
All right. What's on your mind, brother? Go ahead.
Listen, first of all, condolences to the families and loved ones involved in the tragedy down there. What I want to say is, with everything that's being said, I think the most important thing that's being said is that Confederate flag's got to come down. It needs to come down. It's flying high on top of the Capitol here in South Carolina, and it needs to come down. And our people who love to flock Myrtle Beach every year need to stop going there. Find someplace else to go this year. And all you people, all the people that go to Red Lobster on 125th Street, let it be known that place is owned by people in Florida that have the stand your ground law, and Trayvon Martin died because of that law.
What do you think about the Second Amendment, sir?
The Second Amendment?
The Second Amendment of the
right to bear arms?
Yes, sir.
You know something? I do agree with you. That one of those people have been packing. But what I can't understand is how a guy is able to load his gun and reload and nobody stopped him. I'm not saying blame the victim because they're absolutely innocent. The church is not supposed to turn away anybody, and I don't blame them for that. But there's just a whole lot of things that need to be explained. And now this guy's got a website with his name on it, with pictures of the American flag burning and being stomped on, and he's waving the Confederate flag. That flag needs to come down, and we need to stop putting our dollars in the states that have this Confederate flag flying.
All right, I appreciate the call, sir, and I agree with some of what you're saying, but and I don't agree with the flag personally, but I do say it is the right of Southern Americans to fly that flag. It is their First Amendment right. If they want to fly it, so be it. For some Southern Americans, people from the South, they don't like us Yankees too much. To them, it's not about slavery. You see, the Republicans freed the slaves. Okay. They were mostly Democrats down south when slavery was abolished, okay? Lincoln was a Republican. So the flag means a lot more to them than slavery and racial bigots. So it's back and forth there. So, I don't know. But as far as this scumbag, like I said, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I think there's a conspiracy going on. The guy has 30 African-American Facebook friends. The guy has a doctor who's linked to the military. Okay? He reminds me of the Batman shooter. He reminds me of Sirhan, who had Dr. Jolyon West involved in his case. Timothy McVeigh, the same thing. These guys are all military doctors, okay? Something's off. Something's off. That's all I'm saying. All right, next call. Call, you're on the air.
Eli King.
What's up, brother?
It's Luigi. Hold on, positive, buddy.
Luigi, all the way from Detroit. What's good, brother? Good to hear from you.
Hey, we got to keep, what flag we got to take down?
Which one?
That one with the Star of Moloch on it.
Oh, Moloch. Oh, absolutely. And the United Nations flag, too. Yeah, we got to take that down.
Yeah, exactly.
New World Order scum.
The Star of Moloch is everywhere, like you said. The Mossad was in town. They're always in town, Eli.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are, my brother. They say Jesus was a fool. You know that?
Oh, absolutely.
You know that. You know that.
Religion is all divide and conquer, so I try not to get too involved. You know, I do believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Obama is not my Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, Jamie Foxx. But Luigi is... Go ahead, Luigi. I just caught a brain fart.
But anyways, it's a shooting. You notice how these guys always got 3 names?
Yes. You know another
that?
Coincidence. Look at that.
Yeah, but I believe these people were killed and all that. It's another thing to try to take away our guns, man.
Yeah, it's another way they're trying to take away the right to bear arms. They may be trying to start a race war. Who knows what their agenda is? I believe, like I said, the agenda was to distract us from the passing that the House passed the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. For those who don't know what that is, look it up. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, which basically renders our Congress useless. Simple.
Another way to take down this country. Obama again. He's a hero, ain't he?
Yeah, he's a hero to the Republican Party now, and the Democrats are baffled, and they don't know what to do. They're clapping for him, and then he's high-fiving Republicans, and they're going, what the hell's going on here? I tell you what's going on. Like I say every week, these guys are like NASCAR drivers. They don't work for us. They work for the corporations.
All goes back to the Star of Moloch, Eli.
And they're Luciferians, and they worship this owl Moloch and have sex with each other, gay sex in the Redwood Forest over in San Francisco, Bohemian Grove, which they're probably doing later this month during the summer solace. Evil scum.
Yeah, and then you see Obama comes out now looking like he's all sad, but he has nothing to say about Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown or all that other guy that was shot in person. You know, he looks all sad now, but when a cop kills someone, oh, that's all right.
Of course. Obama's an opportunist. Obama is a mouthpiece. Obama is a puppet. He has no cojones. He has no balls. The last real president who had balls, which was John F. Kennedy, they blew his head off in broad daylight.
Yeah, he has no
Which sent a message to the rest of our puppet presidents. You get out of line, we will blow your head off. Simple.
Yeah, Kennedy said, we're done with you, Moloch people. We're done with you.
That's right.
And
He called secret societies repugnant, repulsive, disgusting, and we must expose them. And we must expose our mistakes as well. We must not be ashamed of them. We must honor the First Amendment, freedom of the press, so that this country can stay free. That's the most simplest and the most sacred and the most... it just touches... the First Amendment is just like... is in my soul. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, that's exactly what the TPP is going to take away, Eli. I think they're going to try to take away shows like this and anybody saying anything against the government or the super special people of the Star of Moloch.
Yes, they are trying to pass these draconian laws to stifle free speech as we know it. They want to bring back the fairness doctrine where you cannot speak political on radio. Reagan did away with that in the 80s. In the 80s, mind you. And they want to bring that back. Basically, the Patriot Act, the Freedom Act, all these acts are just repugnant. I call that slavery, okay? Slavery against the mind, slavery against our national sovereignty, slavery against our God-given rights to exercise our constitutional rights to be free as natural, free, sovereign Americans.
Yep, not much to do about trade at all there, ain't you, Eli?
Ain't nothing much to do. I don't know. We just got to keep out there and keep up the good fight.
Take some calls, brother. I'll talk to you next week or whatever.
Appreciate the call, brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless. Happy Father's Day if I don't see you. If you're not a father, if you know you have a father, I will be taking the next 2 weeks off. I will be throwing up some documentaries, a 9/11 documentary and the American Dream documentary about the Federal Reserve on July 4th, because the studio will be closed. But next week I have to go to my son's Little League game. But after that I will be back. All right, let's take some more calls. Enough of me. Caller. Mr. American, Mr. America, you're on the air. I have a feeling this is a Mr. America. Go ahead.
Hello? What's up?
It is Mr. America. It's Captain America, Steve.
How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I know. It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of topics talking about guns, but you're right. This is a distraction. Because you know how the mainstream media, how they orchestrate and everything. We're not really getting the full story. So you got to go to alternative outlets. And I'm pretty sure Alex Jones is going to really touch base on this.
What do you think happened down there,
Well,
Steve?
personally, I think, like you said, that guy is definitely on drugs, which is pretty obvious right there.
You can see it in his eyes. He has that zombie
Yeah,
1,000-yard stare.
See, this is how this plan, how to take guns off. It's just like, they're concerned about violence and gun violence in New York City and all that. That we hear on the news, someone's always getting shot and all that.
Yeah.
But
And they say it's because there's no more stop and frisk, Steve. What about the mayor not hiring police? There's a hiring freeze in the NYPD.
I know.
But let's blame it on stop and frisk. I think that's all a conspiracy with the mayor too, William Helmsley, Bill de Blasio, whatever the hell his name is, William Wilhelm. His real name is William Wilhelm de Blasio. This guy, and he's going out there, not hiring new police. This way they can blame the stoppage of stop and frisk.
Some people say they need to bring back stop and frisk.
Yes, exactly. This is how you bring it back. You stop hiring police, crime goes up, and then in a city where guns are not allowed, so crime is going to go up because you have less police, and then the people beg for their securities beg for security,
right,
and their liberties to be taken for security.
And I'm telling you, this is going to be a hot summer. I tell you, why it's going to be a hot summer? Because you're going to be hearing violence. You're going to be hearing stabbings. You're going to be hearing more gunshots. Then you're going to have your community leaders saying that we need to get guns off the street and all that.
Yeah. We need to put the guns in the hands of good American citizens so that we can protect our streets.
Because you got to remember, guns don't kill people. People do. The problem is the guns is getting to the wrong hands. That's the issue.
Yeah, my gun never accidentally fell down and shot 9 people.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to say.
It takes the trigger person to do it.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a tactic by the mayor.
Exactly. This is how police they can start. Because once all the violence starts, it gets so out of control, and that's when, they'll suspend the Constitution and bring back stop and frisk.
Yep, you got that right.
Do it.
It's out of control. All right, Steve, I appreciate the call.
All right, you take care.
Take care, brother. Another great call from Steve. Yeah, like I was saying, it's a tactic by Mayor Bill de Blasio, claiming he's standing up for the Constitution and our Fourth Amendment, not to have our nuts grabbed on the streets by these Long Island police who moved to the city, and also Hispanic police, because I have actually been stopped and frisked by more Hispanic cops than white cops and black cops put together. But it's a tactic by him. He's claiming he's against stop and frisk. Like I said, he's not going to hire police, so crime goes up where you're not allowed to have guns, because in cities and states where they do allow guns, there is less crime. So in the cities, New York, Chicago, and LA, where they don't allow guns, there is more crime. So like I said, when there are less police, people are going to blame, oh, there's no stop and frisk. Now the people are gonna beg for stop and frisk. Please stop and frisk me so I can be protected by the police. No, I want to protect myself, okay? When a burglar is trying to break into my house, do I want to sit there and call 911 and wait 45 minutes? Or do I want to go to my gun safe, grab my 9mm, and which will take me about less than 45 seconds, and take down the perpetrator so that my children can live and carry on my legacy of being a constitutionalist? Now, speaking of constitutionalist, I received a lot of emails from this character, Derek Holloway. I finally have dug into my emails. Luigi, thank you for sending me those lovely emails. I do appreciate it. But I've been getting blown up by this Derek Holloway, who has this thing about homosexuals and white people being witches, and like Luigi sent me an email as well. Black people tend to, some black people tend to blame the white man for their problems. Don't blame the white man. Blame yourself. If you want to make it in life, put your mind to it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. I know I sound like a parent right now, but by God, it is true. Whatever you put your mind to, set your mind to, set your heart to, you can do. It's like this show. I put my mind, I put my heart into it, and then it's just here for me. It keeps me alive. It keeps me going. And every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. That's what I love about you. You, my fans, my American patriots, my family, my friends, and even my enemies. Every time I try to get out, the man upstairs sends you to pull me back in and keep up the good fight that our forefathers fought for so dearly and spilt their blood on this sacred land. Oh, I love it. All right, let's get to this next call. Caller, you are live. You are on the air. Lower your TV and speak to me.
Yeah, I just gotta say I agree with everything you say. White power.
Hello? All right, caller, you're going to have to call back. You got a bad connection there. All I heard was I agree with everything he's saying. I like that. That was a good call. All right, we're running out of time. Let's get some calls in. 212-245-7273. Caller, you are live. You are on the air.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment about stop and frisk. The way I see that is that, the city's trying to save the tourist business because they get a lot of money, millions of dollars out of that. And they figure what they have to do is then to save that tourist trade is to lock up all black, uneducated, and unemployed people that go walking around and maybe causing trouble or whatever. We just round them up and lock them all up, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, let's have concentration camps too. Why don't we, huh? Why don't we just lock you up because what? I don't like your opinion, sir. Let's lock you up and put you in a re-education camp.
Instead of broken one, instead of more police.
Why don't they hire more police? Why don't they hire more police? Or why don't they hire me? Why don't they allow me to have a gun?
That's what they want to do anyway. That's what they're doing anyway. There's $850,000 blacks already, fighting in blacks in jail already, and it's going to go up.
All right, what do you think about the Second Amendment, sir?
The Second Amendment? Well, everybody has the right to protect themselves. I'm not saying no, but you can't confuse that with going around put them in the jail or killing 9 people in the church. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You don't confuse one thing with the other.
Oh, absolutely. They're using these people who take these drugs as an excuse to take away our Second Amendment. But you live in a city, sir. I don't blame the guns. I blame the drugs. You live in a city where you don't have a Second Amendment, sir. You don't have a Second Amendment. What do you feel about that?
The idea of why I wanted to do this was right in his head. No, wait, the drug just helped to enforce that idea.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think about the legalization of drugs like cocaine, heroin, and marijuana?
I'm against any kind of drugs, even prescription drugs.
I'm against prescription drugs more than I am those other illegal drugs.
Well,
Do you know drugs were legal before 1933?
Prescription drugs are made to make money. They don't cure anybody, man. Especially mental drugs.
Yeah, it's all run by the pharmaceutical industries who, they're all scum. I appreciate the call. They're all scum, and our politicians are bought off by the pharmaceutical companies and the vaccination companies, which you can't even sue these days if they injure you. If you get injured by a vaccine company, you cannot sue. Can you believe this? Yeah. And if you get injured by these psychotropic drugs, you probably won't be able to sue them either. Instead, they want to sue the gun companies. They don't want to sue the drug companies, okay? That made this person snap and go around and shoot people. Give me my guns back. Give me my rights back, okay? I live in New York City. I want to be able to protect myself. I live in a tyrannical city, a tyrannical state that does not give me the right to bear arms. If I want to bear arms, I have to do illegally, which I will do. Because that is unconstitutional. You telling me I cannot bear arms. That is unconstitutional. Just like when the Supreme Court Justice said black people are not human. That law is unconstitutional. So I will not follow your unconstitutional laws because I am a sovereign citizen, I am a real American, and you will not stop me and my fellow Americans from abiding by the Constitution and making sure it lives on forever and ever and ever, and restore the Constitution, restore the Republic. Damn you! I'll see you in 2 weeks after the 4th. I love you. God bless America. God save the United States Constitution. And if you have received this transmission, then you are the resistance. I love you.